Hi there and welcome to another edition of Weekly Wind-Up. I'm Dave Hodgson. There quite often comes a time when something inside says, I can't go on, I can't face the future, and at such a time you may begin to feel all alone in the world and in need of someone to talk to. Such an organisation exists to help you. It's the Samaritans. But who do the Samaritans talk to in times of trouble? Do the Samaritans ever feel they are in trouble? I'm joined by Christine, who has recently taken over as director of the Huddersfield branch. On a day-to-day basis, what does that involve you in?
Well, it involves managing 81 volunteers, the building, all the resources we need in the building, the shop, and the well-being of those volunteers is crucial, because if they are not happy in what they're doing, it will affect our callers, and at the end of the day that's why we're there, to support our callers. So it's quite a busy job.
I can quite understand that, because of course it means you'll have to draw up rotas and make sure that people can do it, and as volunteers are not doing something else on that particular day.
It is a lot of work, but fortunately I have a wonderful team of deputies and support workers. I don't do it on my own, fortunately, and we seem to run quite smoothly, I think, at Huddersfield. We've got a good branch, the systems are good, but we're always looking to improve things.
What's the natural picture regarding the number of suicides in Britain and the contacts being made to Samaritans?
Nationally, suicide rates have gone up. I mean, in 2014, and this sounds a lot, doesn't it? 6,122 in the UK, Ooh. Which is a lot. Yeah. But the worrying thing for you as a man is that 4,630 of those were men. 1,492 were women, which is quite an interesting difference, isn't it? And also, when I first started 12 years ago, the main group to be committing suicide or ending their lives was between 18 and 25. Very interesting now, the new statistics have taken that up to people, men in their 40s and 50s. So that's quite interesting. We still get a lot in their 20s and 30s, but also now in their 40s and 50s. So there's a trend taking place there.
Let me get it right then. They must be the most vulnerable group.
Yeah.
Has anybody done any sort of work as to why that should be?
There are lots of reasons why people think it might be, but I don't think anybody's actually nailed it down. I think women talk to each other much more.
Yes, good point.
Men don't talk to each other. And they don't get anything off their chest, and they bottle it up, and they have to be macho so they don't cry or get upset.
Yeah, the idea is then to sweep it under the carpet and pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah. And it's no respecter of persons. It's nothing to do with their economic level of life at all. You know, it happens to very affluent people just as much as it does to homeless people.
You've talked about the staff, but what are your priorities as director for Huddersfield branch? Is the recruitment of more volunteers a priority, and what kind of person, if you are, would you be looking for?
It's always a priority, and we do very well actually in Huddersfield. We recruit 3 times a year for 3 training programmes, and we get between 12 and 15 on each of those, because there's quite a strong vetting process before they reach the training programme. But we need more, because with the new free phone number 116123, we've got a lot more calls coming in. So our volunteers are stretched when they're on shift now, because we don't just answer the phone, we do emails and texts as well, and face-to-face callers, of course, who come to knock at the door. So we need a lot more than we've got at the moment.
If we're interested, how do we go about contacting? Because of course, not to say that your headquarters are secretive, but you actually don't make a play of publicising where you're actually based.
We're 14 New North Parade in Huddersfield,
yes.
So you know we're not far from the centre of town.
Let's get that in again. 14 New North Parade.
Yes, we have the dual carriageway just sort of next door.
Is there a time that people are more vulnerable than others? I mean, do you get more calls at night, or is it?
Yes, nights are very busy, very busy. And increasingly, and whether this is to do with the National Health Service or not, we're getting a lot more people with mental health issues at night. because they need to talk, and there's nobody available in the night for them officially to talk to.
Yeah.
So we tend to get quite a few callers who have got mental health issues, and we're having to adjust our training to that so that we are prepared to support people who do have mental health issues.
However large or small your business, attracting new customers requires dedication and a lot of patience. Just like fishing, but you also need the right gear.
Rods, reels, lines, hooks, sinkers, lures, tackle box, tackle bag, net, bait, gaff, gloves, clothes, pocket knife, lunch.
Or you could simply advertise with KLTV. Online, grow your business and your clientele. KLTV, your vision made reality. Should have gone to KLTV.
You're not actually able to offer constructive advice, are you?
No, we can't.
Why is that?
Because we are not the experts. You know, if you need advice on your housing, for example, and benefits, the citizens' advice, people in your local council, the people
It says
to
it on the
apply to,
label,
yeah.
doesn't it? Yeah.
We are not there to give advice, but we are now allowed to signpost people. At one time we weren't allowed to give advice in that there is an organisation that can support you.
Yeah.
We are allowed to do that now, and for example, Childline is a good one. We work in partnership with Childline, and if a young person under 18 we find is really in distress and is needing more than we can offer, we can give them the Childline number and say, you know, how about, you know, you try Child. They can give you counselling and a lot more support than we can. On the other hand, teenagers, for example, choose to ring us rather than Childline because we are totally confidential.
Yeah.
We don't pass information on to anybody.
And you don't judge.
And we don't judge, we don't make assumptions, and they find we are very comfortable to talk to.
Good, more power to your arm that way. But there has been, I'm saying good, there's been a lot of coverage in the press recently about management, or shall we say mismanagement, of charitable organisations. Has this affected the Samaritans at all?
I think if we look back to 1953 when Samaritans was first started, it's changed an awful lot, because the central body now has quite an important role in managing what we do in or saying what we do in branches. In fact, when you look at data protection, safeguarding, quality assurance, all of those things that you would think a corporate organisation would be involved in, we are involved with, and we get guidance from the top on how we should manage those things.
Yeah. On a personal level, you awarded the MBE last year. What was it like meeting the Queen, and what does it mean to you?
It was absolutely amazing. When you think she's 90 and she stood for an hour and a half talking to 72 people about what they've got the award.
Yeah.
She was amazing, and we were treated so well by everybody there. The atmosphere was wonderful.
So, thanks to Christine, Director of the Huddersfield Samaritans branch. Remember, as always, you can comment on this or any other story on Kirklees Local TV by email info@kirkleeslocaltv.com. Look us up on Twitter or on Facebook. Thanks also to the news desk and to the crew who've made this programme possible. Have a good week, and KLTV will be back with you with another topic next week. Dave Hodgson saying take care, and let's meet up again then. Bye. Bye.